Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. Tesla's car insurance product is another example of Tesla's vertical integration. After depreciation and fuel, insurance is the next major expense of car ownership. Well, as long as you don't have too many engine repairs at your next service. If you drive ICE, of course. A lot of Tesla owners do face rather expensive insurance premiums. But if you own a Tesla, the car is not just the safest car in an accident. It also happens to be so safe it will avoid accidents in the first place. On top of that, you might be a cautious driver. You don't speed or make erratic moves on the road. Yet due to asymmetric information, you have to pay extra in insurance to cover all the dangerous drivers too. This is not fair. Well, believe it or not, unlike other insurance companies, Tesla are fully aware of just how safe a Tesla actually is. Tesla know you're less likely to be involved in an accident in the first place, and if you are involved in an accident, then your risk of injury is reduced. However, it doesn't stop there. This is Tesla. They can use technology to improve insurance. Tesla can also track data on your driving habits, and thus know how safe a driver you are. Tesla are also likely to use technology to significantly reduce the costs when compared to a company like Geico. You can just order insurance through your app and make claims through the apps. This would make Tesla's insurance very low cost. Some of these savings will be passed on to the consumer. Imagine if by owning a Tesla, you're able to save $500 a year on insurance. If you have a mortgage, then that's enough to cover interest payments on about $20,000 or so. And I don't mean using Tesla insurance over other companies. I mean insuring your Tesla with Tesla insurance compared to an ICE car with other insurance companies. Teslas may have an initial higher price tag than a lot of other cars, but I keep saying that the way we look at vehicle ownership needs to change, and we need to look at the overall cost of ownership rather than just the initial price tag. Lowering insurance premiums is just one more way of making it more affordable to own a Tesla. If you save $500 over 6 years of ownership, then that's $3,000 less the vehicle cost, without mentioning any of the more significant cost savings a Tesla brings. For some customers in some areas, it can make a much larger difference. I've heard of people paying about $300 a month to insure their Teslas. I would say insurance that expensive would likely put off a lot of customers. Not all insurance companies know how to insure Teslas yet. The lower cost of ownership would then increase demand further for Teslas. It's so clever how Tesla can find ways of increasing demand by adding value onto their products without having to reduce the actual price of the car. When you pay for insurance these days with a typical insurance company, then you have to pay as if we are an average driver. Whether you're a good driver or a bad driver, you pay pretty much the same. Some drivers are much higher risk for the insurance companies than others, but the insurance companies don't know who they might be. Sure, they ask questions like, have you had a speeding fine or have you been in an accident, to help further assess the liability. Some even have basic tracking devices that make sure you are driving well and reduce your insurance payments. But they never really know how good a driver they are insuring. In economics, this is known as asymmetric information. As a result, everyone is treated more or less equal and has to pay the same insurance. One of the reasons that Tesla are able to reduce their insurance so much is that they know if you're a bad driver or not. They track and rate you as a driver. The better your score, then the less you pay in insurance, which sounds perfectly fair to me. In fact, the drivers can learn what safe driving really is. As Tesla gathers more information about what causes accidents, the tracking can then concentrate more on whatever driving habits increase the likelihood of accidents, and the drivers can improve the safety of their driving as a result. Elon has even said this has resulted in drivers getting involved in fewer accidents already. Then there is the monetary incentive to drive safer. If you drive safer, then you get a better rating and pay less in insurance. Everyone wins. So not only are Teslas themselves safer, the Tesla drivers are also driving safer as well, therefore reducing the chance of an accident further, and thus further reducing the cost of insuring a Tesla and passing the savings on again to the driver. Then soon there'll also be FSD, which might be safer than an average human driver soon, but possibly not safer than a Tesla driver with a high safety rating. But eventually Tesla aims for FSD to be 10 times safer than a human. When that is the case, then these vehicles will become even safer and even less likely to be involved in an accident. I think that to encourage drivers and motivate them to use FSD, that Tesla could say there is no deductible if you're involved in an accident when using FSD. This would encourage drivers to order FSD, order Tesla insurance, and use FSD more. In fact, although Tesla insurance is a great product, it's not a great moneymaker. Well, not when compared to the other areas of the business. In fact, insurance was kind of small and will have a minimal impact on profit. I think insurance is a necessary piece of the puzzle for FSD and robotaxis. I mean, just think, what kind of insurance company would want to insure a self-driving car, especially if it ends up doing 5 times more driving than a regular car and potentially 5 times more likely to get involved in an accident? In my opinion, for this reason alone, Tesla had to do insurance. It seems obvious. Of course, it's more vertical integration for Tesla. In fact, it fits in really well with the rest of Tesla's vertical integration. How many other insurance companies do you know that can repair a car and get the parts all at cost? Now, I bet a typical insurance company has to pay quite a bit to get a Tesla repaired if it's been involved in an accident. But if it's Tesla Insurance, then they also own the service centers and the machines that make all the parts. A legacy insurance company may need to charge $1,000 a year in insurance for a Tesla if it costs $10,000 to repair in an accident, but in the same accident it could cost Tesla just perhaps $4,000. The cost of repairing the car is going to be significantly less to Tesla than another insurance company, and Tesla can thus pass the savings on to the driver, again making Teslas more affordable to own. I say insurance is not going to be a big difference in Tesla's profits, but it could still be something. Let's say Tesla are able to make 25% profit margin on insurance, and perhaps by 2026 there are 20 million Teslas on the road. If all of them got insurance, and perhaps paid on average $800 a year, then that's $200 profit per customer. With 20 million Teslas, then that is $4 billion a year. Of course, FSD subscription makes about that every month, to put it in comparison. Oh, and Tesla are probably turning over close to $500 billion a year in auto sales too at this stage. I know these numbers are rough, but indicative enough to show that insurance isn't something to get too excited about in the financials or with the stock price. I think it's just going to be a very convenient service, further enriching the Tesla ownership experience and reducing the cost of ownership somewhat, and a necessary service for FSD and robotaxis. And Tesla Insurance is expanding throughout. Tesla have recently included Colorado, Oregon, and Virginia. I think Elon said about 90% of the US population will have insurance available within about a year. Tesla aren't messing around. They seem to be doing everything that needs to be done in order to lay the foundation for a robotaxi future. Tesla Insurance is a great product. If I could get it for mine, I would immediately. I have to pay a lot to insure my Teslas where I am. For some drivers, Tesla Insurance could be a big cost saving for them. For others, it's likely just that much more convenient. For Tesla, it's one extra stream of income, which within time will accumulate to something we might usually consider substantial. Except relative to what Tesla are earning from FSD or potential robotaxis, it will be barely noticed. It does make for a tidier product offering and a more seamless product experience. It is bound to be an essential element for FSD and robotaxis. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.